Hello everyone, this is Ubaid Khan and you are watching Elite Edu World. Please subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon for the latest updates of our channel, and please do share with your friends, relatives, and especially for students, because our channel having a lot of educational videos. Okay, so let's move towards today's topic. Once again I welcome all the students in our this session that will going to be a number 4th session of this chapter, that is tissue. So this is we have already started this chapter and we have covered so many points. We have almost covered all the points of related to the plant tissue in our previous lectures, as we have seen what is a tissue, why there is a need of tissue. Then we have seen what is a type of tissues, like we have seen the classification also for the tissues. We have seen actually first of all that meristematic tissue, that is actively growing part which is having the meristematic tissue. Then we have seen the permanent tissue and the types of permanent tissue. First type, that is simple permanent tissue. Why it is called simple? Because all the cells that is made simple permanent, that is same type of the cell will make the simple permanent tissue. Then the second type, or in this all the three types we have seen here, that is parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. These are the types of the simple permanent tissue. They are made by a simple or the same type of the cell. And then we have seen what are the location and function of this all the three things. We have seen the activity in our previous lecture, to how to find out or how to see the guard cell or the epidermis cells are there from the leaf, and all the points we have seen how we can be observe the guard cell into the from the leaves as it is present into the aerial parts. Then we have covered the points related to the second type, that is complex permanent tissue. And why it is called the complex permanent tissue? Because it is made by more than one cell or the type of the cells. As we have seen the simple permanent, because it is made by a same type of the cells are there. But in complex permanent tissue there are the different types of the cells. They are just come together and they are coordinating with each other and they will perform a same function. So it is called complex permanent tissue. The type of the complex permanent tissue we have seen xylem and phloem. What is the arrangement, what are the cells are present into the xylem? These are the tracheids, vessels and xylem. Parenchyma are present into the xylem. It is a tubular structure which is providing or helping into the transport of the water from the roots of the plant to tip of the plant. Then we have seen the phloem. So it is also tubular and it is moving or providing to the movement of the food material from green part of the plant to non-green part of the plant, from the leaves to all part of the plant. So that is called phloem. And the difference also we have seen from xylem and phloem. The xylem is transport the water only into the one way, that is vertical position from down to up, and that is why it is having most of the dead cells are there providing the protection. And but in phloem it can be provide the material to move in two ways. In both the ways it can be movement, allowing the water, allowing the molecules of the food can be move into the both the direction. So that is called a phloem. So this is already we have seen in our previous slide. So up to here we have finished the things related to the plant tissues. So now the very important point, that is called animal tissue. So now we will, in this session we will just start to talk about the animal tissues. So like we have already know that in our body there are several different types of the tissues are there, several different organs are there, because we are the complex type of the organism. So many different kind of the tissues and organs we are having to perform a different function, a specific function. So in that animal tissue, when we are just breathing, we can actually feel the movement of our chest. When we are taking breath inside and just releasing the air outside, so we can see the movement of our chest. So how do this body movement or body parts move? How the movement can be happen? So for this we have to just specialized cells called muscle cells. So we have to see that specialized cells, and these muscle cells can contract and relax. So why we are telling it is a muscle cell? Because it can be allow the movement of the body. And how it can be allow the movement? By contracting and relaxing to themselves. So these cells result in the movement. So here it is shown one diagram that is for stomach. So when we are just looking the diagram one by one, so it is providing a view how it is having the different tissues are there, and how the structure of the smooth muscle cells. So the outer layer of this stomach, it is made by the smooth muscle cells, and if you can see the location of muscle fiber, so this is actually the single muscle cells, it can be shown here. So how the arrangements are there, it is having the nucleus, it is having the smooth muscle fibers are there. So this is the structure of cell, and the name of the cell is muscle fibers. So the muscle cells is there, and it is having the ability to just contract and relax, to do the contraction relaxation, to allow the movement. So whenever we need a movement, so we are having the this kind of the cells are there. So first of all we will just start, and we have seen this all the diagrams that is providing the contraction relaxation of this muscles result in the movement. So during the breathing, now what will happen into the breathing? Actually we are inhaling the oxygen for the respiration, and where does this oxygen go? So it is just absorbed into the lungs in the alveoli. Alveoli are the sac like structure that are present into the lungs. So in the lungs there is alveoli are there, which is absorbing the oxygen into them, and then it is just transported to all the body parts, all the parts of the body cells through the blood. So here the blood is a transporter, and blood will providing the transportation of the oxygen from lungs to all part of the body, and it is happening, or it is possible with the help of RBC, because RBC is responsible to carry the oxygen, and it can be provided to each and every cell. So why would we cell need oxygen? So why there is need of this respiration process? Why we need to take breathe inside? Why blood have to take the oxygen and provide to each and every cell? So what is a need of oxygen? As we have seen already the function of mitochondria, we have studied earlier, that provide a clue. So what is function of mitochondria? As we have seen, it is a powerhouse of the cell. So why it is called powerhouse? Because it is generating the energy. So that is why in the cell, that is called a cellular respiration. So where there is, with the help of the blood, the glucose will just reach to the cell, then oxygen from the alveoli it is just reach to the cell, inside the cell. So when the oxygen will break down the glucose, it is called the burning of food. So it can be break down the food material, or then it will, with the help of oxygen, it is release the energy, and that will absorb or the form in the form of ATP, and that ATP is utilized now for each and every functioning of the cell. So just break down the food to release the energy, that is in intracellular or the cellular respiration, there is a need of oxygen. So if we are the organism which is aerobic organism, which is required oxygen to break down the food, so they need us oxygen. So without breathing process it cannot be possible. That is why we have to take the breathe in, also very important, and to eat the food. So both the things can be important. So now blood flows and carries various substances from one part of the body to another part. As we have seen, the blood is a transporter in our body. So being a transporter, the blood is carrying the different materials from different part of the body. So for example, it carry the oxygen. This is the example of the blood, we can be say here. It carry the oxygen and food to all the cells. Oxygen from lungs to all the part of the body, and food from digestive system, from small intestine to all part of the body. It is also collect the waste material. That is also very important function of the blood. It is also collect the waste material from all part of the body, and that carry them to the liver and kidney for disposal. So this is, as blood is being a transporter, it is first of all providing the glucose and then oxygen to all cells or all body part of the organism. After the cellular respiration will be happen, energy will be break down, some waste material will be removed. So to bring that waste material to remove outside the body, it will just bring the waste material from all part of the body and carry them to the liver and kidney, because they both are doing the function of purification of the blood. So we have seen the function of kidney already in the excretory system, how it is work. So these kidneys are working as excretory part, or to remove the waste material, nitrogenous waste in the form of urine or urea. So that is why the function of blood is very important. So blood and muscles are both example of tissue found in our body. So blood is also the form of tissue, as it look like fluid, but it is a tissue, a form of a type of tissue. That is why it is called a fluid connective tissue. And muscles are the both example of tissues. So in our muscles also we are having the different number of cells come together, it is also example of tissue. So on the basis of the function they perform, we can think of different types of the animal tissue. What are the functions they are providing in our body? We are having different kind of the tissues. So on the basis of their function, which can be divided into a different types, such epithelial tissues. So these are the examples. From here we can see the examples. Number 1, epithelium tissue. Number 2, connective tissue. Number 3, muscular tissue. And number 4, nervous tissue. So these are the examples of the tissues or the animal tissue. Number 1, epithelial tissue, outermost covering of the body. Number 2, connective tissue, which is connecting to bone or muscles to muscles, muscles to bone. Then muscular tissues, nervous tissues, they are working with the help of neuron. Then blood is a type of connective tissue or fluid connective tissue, which is connecting to all the body organs, right? And muscles forms a muscular tissue, and we are just talking about the muscles, so it will make the muscular tissue. So these are different examples of tissues we have seen here. So these all are the different locations. On the basis of different locations, they are having a different types of the tissues, and on the basis of their structure, they are having a different functioning also. So now one by one we will just start to study about the different examples of tissues or animal tissues. So number 1, we will just see the example that is called epithelial tissue, and it is already we know it is a outermost covering of the body. It is just covering or protective tissues in the animal body or epithelial tissue. So epithelial tissue is a tissue that is providing the connection or that providing the protection throughout the body. So epithelium covers most organs. So now what are the function of epithelium? So epithelium covers most organs and cavities within the body. So epithelium is there to just cover the organs, like so many organs we are having. So they are having the outermost layer, that is a epidermis layer, and cavities in our body. What are the cavities or spaces are there, that is full or filled with the epidermis only. So now we will see what are the locations or the where this kind of the tissues will be seen to us. So number 1 example, the skin also made by this epidermis tissues. Then the lining of the mouth. In our mouth there are different linings are there, that is also made by the epidermis. The lining of blood vessels. In our body we are having a different kind of the blood vessels like arteries and veins. So that is also inner lining of this blood vessels also made by the epidermis. And lungs, alveoli. In the lungs we have seen already alveoli are there, So what is function of alveoli? To absorb the oxygen. And kidney tubules are made from the epithelial tissue. So the blood vessels, lining of the blood vessels, and inside the lungs, alveoli and kidney tubules. So these all are the locations of this epithelial tissue. Kidney tubules are also made of epithelial tissue. So this all that is also present inside the kidney, that is the epithelial tissue. So here the epithelial tissues cells are tightly packed and form a continuous sheet. So it is the outermost covering, it is providing a protection. So that is why they are just joined together and they don't have the intracellular spaces. They are very tightly packed together to form a continuous sheet. So that is why they are making the continuous sheets are there, which can be providing the spatial protection to the organs. So that is why it will make they are coming together and they are making the continuous sheets to provide the security, and they have only a small amount of cementing material between them. So they are also only the small amount of the cementing material between them and almost to intracellular spaces. So that is why they don't have the intracellular spaces and they are very tightly packed together. So obviously anything entering or leaving the body must cross at least one layer of epithelium, because this epithelium layer, they are present around the organs, around the body or the system. It is separating different systems, and so that is why whatever the material is moving in our body, so it must cross at least one layer of epithelium, whether it is covering of organ or inside our blood vessels, inside our alveoli. So whatever the materials are there, it should be covered the epithelium, and as a result the permeability, our epithelium is a permeable, sometimes semi permeable. So as a result of permeability of the cell of various epithelia play an important role in regulating the exchange of material between the body and the external environment. So that is, it is a permeable tissues, so that is why it is providing the very important thing, that is from the body and the external environment and also between the different parts of the body. So it is just providing the protection from some material that is entering in our body from external environment. It is also providing the security between the transport of between different part of the body, inside the body from different organs. They are sharing some material, so it is also just going through this kind of the tissues. So regardless of these types, all the epithelium is usually by an external or extracellular fibrous basement membrane. So whatever the examples we can see, usually separated. So they are separating the underlying tissues, whatever the tissues are there, by an extracellular fibrous basement membrane. So this is the basement membrane which can be separate of the organs and external environment. Now the different epithelia, figure 6.9 we can be see here. So 6.9, this is actually the figures are mentioned here, that is striated, squamous and cuboidal, or above, below the cuboidal there is a columnar ciliated. So these are the different types of the epithelium tissues. So on the basis of the different organs or different parts where it is present, we having a different types of the epithelium tissue, but basically it is providing the protection point of view. So that is already we have seen here in this figure. So now we will talk about different layers one by one. We will start. Number one, we will start with the squamous epithelium, or that is the simple epithelium, right? So here different epithelia in figure 6.9 already we have seen now show the differing structures that correlate with their unique function. So as we can see the different images we have already seen, so all they are having a different structures, they are different structures as per their body function, as per their function. So on the basis of their function they are having different structures in the body. And for example, in the cell lining of the blood vessels, inside our blood vessels, so it is called the lining of the blood vessels, or the lungs alveoli. In the lungs there is alveoli are there, so inside the lungs alveoli or inside our blood vessels, in both the cases where the transportation of substances occur. When we are talking about the blood, it is a transporter, it is just moving in our body, so it is just providing the transportation between the blood to all the other cells. And again in the case of alveoli also, it is also providing the transportation of oxygen from the lungs to blood and blood to lungs. So that is why where the transportation of substances occur through a selectively permeable. So here the transportation of substances are there occurring here through the selectively permeable surface, because it is selectively permeable, it is allowing only the selected things to be just come inside and go outside. So there is a simple flat kind of epithelium. So when we are just talking about the blood vessels or inner linings of the blood vessels, especially the capillaries, they are very delicate, very small, and the alveoli, internal linings of the alveoli, so they are very small and very delicate. So there is a simple flat kind of the epithelium. This is called the simple squamous epithelium. So this is the name of that tissue that is making the inner linings of the blood vessels and alveoli, that is a squamous or simple squamous epithelium. And why it is a flat? Because it is having a very small structures, it have to be present inside the blood vessels, so that is why the shape is very flat. You can see a very flat structure is given here to provide the, it can be adjusted into the very small area inside the blood vessels. So that is called a squamous epithelium. Here it is written as squamous only, but it is mentioned as squamous epithelium tissue. So simply or simple squamous epithelium cells are extremely thin and flat. So in the case of simple squamous, they are very thin and flat, that is we have seen in this diagram, very thin and flat tissues are there. So flat form a delicate lining and the esophagus and the lining of the mouth. This is also the second locations of the inner linings or the squamous tissue, that is the esophagus. So this kind of the tissue they are present into the esophagus also, or in the lining of the mouth. So inside our mouth, that is also present of this squamous tissues and are also covered with the squamous epithelium. Our mouth, inner linings of the mouth, inside the esophagus. So these are the location of squamous tissues, that is a very flattened and very first type we have seen here, squamous epithelium. Again the location are the skin which protects the body. This is the location of squamous tissues. It is also present in the skin. What is the function of skin? Which protects the body. In our body the skin will protect our body, and it is also made up of the squamous epithelium. And skin epithelial cells are arranged in the many layers to prevent wear and tear. So this is just arranging in many layers, and they are protecting the wear and tear functioning in our body, and they are providing the security and safety to the body organs. So since they are arranged in a pattern of layers, so there I have already told you there are different layers are there of this squamous tissues, and the epithelium is called a stratified squamous epithelium. So where the absorption and secretion occurs. Now we have already discussed the location, that is inner linings of the blood vessels inside our mouth. So again where the absorption and secretion occurs, as in the inner lining of the intestine, as we will just talk about the example of inner lining of intestine. So as we have seen already, inside the inner lining of this intestine there are several enzymes are getting secreted. So inner linings of the intestine or tall epithelium cells are present. So inner lining of the intestine, there are very tall epithelium, or the type of the epithelium they are present. And why there is a tall? Because it is providing the more surface area for absorption of the glucose or materials. Cells are present, and this columnar meaning the pillar like. So epithelium facilitate the movement across the epithelial barrier. So now there is a type that is called a columnar epithelium. So because it is look like a pillar shape, so when we are looking this columnar structure, so the cells, they are making the column like structures, they are very straighted, they are having the column like structures. So that is also having the ciliated, or they are having the cilia like hair like projection called the cilia, right? So why there is this columnar epithelium tissues are there, also have the cilia, which are hair like structures or projections. So in some cases they are having the cilia onto that projections, or cilia like the hair like projections on the outer surface of epithelium cells. So on this epithelium cells, there is into the outer cells, outer surface, there is a hair like projection called cilia. The cilia can move, and their movement pushes the mucus. Why there is a need of this cilia? Because whenever it is just moving, they are pushing the mucus forward to clear it. So it is making the function, it is making it clear, that is whatever the material or the mucus can stuck inside our trachea, so it can be just push it. So mucus forward to clear it, and this type of the epithelium is the ciliated columnar epithelium. So this is the example, structure is given here, that is columnar with ciliated, that is present inside our airways or in our trachea. So it is just helping into the pushing the cuff and making it clear. So with the help of this, so as we have seen here, there are different structures are there of this epithelium tissues, as it is a type of epithelium only, providing the protection only, but again on the basis of their location, on the basis of their work, they are having the different types of epithelium tissues are there. So number next is cuboidal epithelium, because it is look like a cube shape. So here is a cuboidal epithelium. You can see the structure of this tissues that is providing the cube like structure. So each and every cubes are there, so it is look like a cube, so that is why it is given the name cuboidal tissue. So that is called a cuboidal because it look like a cube's form. So cuboidal epithelium with cube shaped cells, the cells also like a cube shape, form the lining of the kidney, and where the location of this cells or this tissue, that is the layers of the kidney or the linings of the kidney tubules and the duct of salivary glands. So it is present inside the kidneys and also present into the ducts of salivary glands. So these both are having this kind of the cuboidal cells are there, cuboidal epithelium, where it is provide the mechanical support, providing the support also. And epithelial cells often acquire the additional specialization as glands. So when in several example, the cuboidal epithelium can be also converted into the glands. The more number of the folds are there, and with the help of the folds, the epithelium will be just converted into the glands, so which can be secrete the substances. So these cells having the ability to secrete the substances at the epithelium surface. Sometimes a portion of the epithelium tissue folds inward. So when sometime the portion will be just move inwards, and it will make the glands into the multicellular organisms. And there are so many examples, so many functions of the glands are there, is forms, and this is the glandular epithelium. So when the epithelium will make the glands after folding it, so that is why it is given the name, that is called glandular epithelium tissue, because it is providing the making the glands. So up to here we have seen the different examples or different structures of epithelium tissue. So this is going to be a type of permanent tissue in the animals. So that is, we have finished the epithelium tissue in this lecture, and we have seen what are the location of the epithelium tissue, what are the types of the epithelium tissue. These all are the 4 types of epithelium tissue on the basis of their, like striated squamous is present into, it is making so many layers and present into the skin, and this columnar ciliated that is present into the lungs, cuboidal that is present into our like kidney structures, and squamous it present into our skin. So that is this very so many examples we have seen here. Squamous is present inside our blood vessels and alveoli too, because it is very thin in the structure. So here we will stop today, and then whatever the points we have covered, just go through this all the points one more time. Draw the diagram, why it is having the flat structure, why it is having the cuboidal structure, why it is having the cilia. So all the things whatever we have seen, just go through one more time. And in the next lecture we will start the connective tissue, what is meant by connective tissue and why it is working. So up to that, take care, bye.